Hey, welcome everyone. It's great to see you, and it's good to be with you for another Tone Up Thursday. My name is Dennis Franks, and I am so excited to spend some time with you today in talking to you about the things we can do to stay healthy and live a best quality of life. And when I say that, it's not only eating right and taking the great supplementations and educating yourself on a regular basis, it's also about staying active and becoming a leaner version of yourself and seeing the definition that your body can bring to make you feel your very best. You know, through the years, I've spent a great deal of time in training and exercising and staying active from my childhood through my college days, through my working days, and even now as I continue to mature and reap the benefits of hard work throughout. I want you to know how important it is that you be consistent about being active in what you do on a regular basis. You know, when I start thinking about what were the keys that have helped me be able to perform day in and day out, keep an amazing positive attitude about everything that I do and every obstacle that I see or meet up on with a daily basis, I take it as an opportunity to test myself to find new ways to be creative enough to either call an audible to that obstacle or leverage the obstacle as a stepping stone to get to another level of success. And so I want you to know that when we talk about toning up or exercising or fitness, you know, finding your fit, there's so many ways that we talk about it. The bottom line is the secret is consistency. You know, throughout my career, it's always been about repetition leads to consistency, and consistency leads to greatness. And when you really come down to it, isn't it the consistency of your performance on a regular basis that makes you exceptional? And it's a proven fact in studies that exercise helps you to be more alert, to be view better in mental acuity, to get that blood flowing and take on the day, minimizing stress, so many good things. But yet we don't view this as something that you can get into and enjoy every day. You know, I've done it so long, so many times that it's become habit that every morning I start my day with some type of activity. And I know through all of the good things that you do on a daily basis, we try to find that time, but I'm telling you, you have to make time. So stay focused, stay the course with your commitment to be active. And so let's have a quick review. It's the third time we've been together. Usually that third week is usually the toughest day to keep focused and moving and staying the course. But this is the opportunity for you to really dig in and remember why you're doing it. You have those personal goals that you want to maintain. So let's talk about frequency, intensity, time, and type of activities. So we remember that through the simple word of fit, but it's spelled with two T's at the end. F for frequency, I for intensity, T for time, and T for type. And when we start thinking about those things, we want to understand. Some people will say, if I work out 3 days a week, you know, that's going to be enough to see an improvement. But is it just what you want to see, an improvement? I don't know. So maybe you want to have improvement, but an acceleration that results in better performance. And for that, we want to be more active. Remember that we talked about setting a course of a 1 mile course that you can walk each and every morning with the goal of getting 20 minutes and working up to 45 minutes in activities of actual walking or speed walking or even jogging and even picking up the pace after that. but we talked about the time that it took you to walk 1 mile, knowing if it's 4 miles per hour, it would take you 15 minutes. Understanding if you're 3.5 miles per hour, it's going to take you 17 minutes. You can figure that out. It's a simple mathematical equation. So what we're trying to do is get you up to that 4 minute pace so that you're walking 15-minute miles. If you're moving up to 4.5, you're almost putting at acceleration to a speed walk. And if you're hitting closer to 5 miles per hour, it's actually a quick jog. And when you start thinking about that, it doesn't happen overnight, but by now you should be enjoying that 20 minutes, 30 minutes of walking at a wonderful pace, because now you're in your third week, you're completing your third week, and we're getting ready to go into our fourth week. Now, in addition to that, remember, before we do activities, we want to do a dynamic stretch. It's not your traditional stretch where you're extending the muscle and holding it. It's more of a joint flexibility and movement type of thing. The movement of the shoulders, you can do them in wide circles, the alternate toe touches, the old-fashioned jumping jacks. You got to remember that. What you're doing is you're coordinating different parts of your body and moving things so that you're going to be better prepared to start your activity. Now, stretching at post activity is important, and that's more of the extension and the holding of muscles. In fact, each day I actually use one of my elastic bands to help me stretch better. I'm not as flexible as I used to be coming up, but now I have to have some type of assistance. So I use the band to help get that hamstring right, to really get that ability to move the joints and hold the muscles and put them in the place where it's going to be most beneficial. And while it is a little bit of I don't want an ache or something, it feels so good when you're done and releasing that stretch. Now, there's different types that we talked about. I just want to go over this very quickly before I go into what we want to accomplish moving into this next week of activity. There are strength. That's basically working on your resistance exercise. Something for those of us that are in our baby boomer years and beyond. We want to think about stabilization and agility. You're doing more 1 foot balancing. You can't really see that I'm standing on 1 foot, but basically you're doing more agility. There are different tools that you can use that you can stand on that make you really balance yourself in things. These are things that you need as you grow older. This is where the core strength is so important, to hold everything together tight so everything can be efficient. So stabilization and agility is the second type of exercise that we need to be aware of. Then you have your eccentric type exercises, the negatives of the exercise. Imagine yourself doing a lift, a simple bench press. When you explode up, you slow down how you come back. The same is with a squat. When you come down and you come up, it's that coming down. What does that relate to? Walking down stairs, walking down hills. These are all negative uses of muscle strength that we have to stay in tune with, especially if we're going to maintain our health and vitality in what we do. Then you have interval training. This is really important, where you may walk at 3 or 3.5 miles an hour, and then you pick it up for maybe 30 seconds to 4 or 4.5 miles per hour. It's really funny. When I pick up my walking pace, I speed walk. And it's funny, I always use my arms because I understand if my arms are moving, my legs will move automatically. But you got that rhythm in a speed walk where you're going. It's cute. It actually looks pretty awesome when you're walking there. Somebody will say, whoa, that person's really walking fast. But anyway, that's a good thing for interval training. It's where you have variety there's a different variation in the speeds that you go, trying to move that heart rate up and then bringing it back down. And then you have your continuous type workouts where you would get on the bike, or you would get on the elliptical, or maybe even the Stairmaster or the rowing machine, and you would go with more of a distancing type of aerobic training. Those different types give you the variety. And the simple thing that's people that often want to know is, do I have to do them all? Well, it's a good idea to do a little bit of all of them, but any two of them combined will give you a pretty good result that you're looking for of toning up and getting better performance. You know, my saying that I love, it's muscle is energy, energy is life. This is so true. Some of us who constantly enjoy eating, we know that if you have more muscle, you can eat more calories without gaining weight. Just a quick tip on body composition. If you have not done this, please get an idea of your body composition. And people always ask, how do you get that done? Well, first, let me say women should be between 25 and 31% body fat, and men should be between 18 and 24% body fat. That's a healthy average kind of body composition for fat. Now, if you start getting below that, you're getting more into the fitness and more of the athletic type. And you can even go further than that, where you're going to be at a very high level of competition, like Olympic type of competition. I was with a gentleman last night on our weigh-in Wednesdays, and he was on the Canadian gymnastics team. But when he competed in the Olympics, he was at 4.5% fat. You want to talk about ripped? My goodness. And he was saying, I feel so bad because I'm up to almost 13% body fat. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, if 18% is the low end of being pretty good shape of body composition, he's worried about 13%. But let's just be real with it. When you live your life and you're used to being a certain type of look, and when you lose that, you want to get back to it. And it's good. And I think it's all very powerful for the mind to help us stay motivated. But where do I go to be able to find my body composition in a very simple type of environment, like being at home? Many of you that are listening to me today know someone that has a TLSslim.com website that they can share with you. They're all unique, so you want to talk to the person that put you here, but you want to go under resources. Now, I do want to caution you, when you go to resources, you'll be able to see body measurements, and the first one that comes up is BMI. Body mass index. Now, I'm not a fan of BMI, but for some reason, the medical community uses that. If you scroll down a little bit, you will be right at the measurements for women in regards to help understand your body composition, and measurements for men. Check that out. And then every 4 weeks, check yourself and make sure that you're moving in the right direction. I think it's really powerful for you. But toning up is the very best thing that you can do for yourself to stay fit and also to stay vital. So now I'm going to basically share my screen and give you some insight to the recommended workout. And I'll put this on the TLS Weight Loss Solution site so that you can download it. But this is something that I did yesterday with my personal trainer. And what was really cool about this is that I was able to go to the point of getting through this, but I have to tell you something. It was not easy. Now, you do not need any type of weights for doing this, but if anybody watched the movie 300, it was about the Spartans. I have this slide that I use when I talk to people about courage, and I have a slide of Spartans, and they don't ask, am I afraid of this? They ask, where are the enemy? They want to know where it's happening. They want to be there and right the wrong. But in this case, here's what we've got. We're going to do 300 total reps over 10 different exercises. And you want to perform 30 reps with each exercise as fast as possible. Now, understand the first time you go through this, it will probably not be your best time. But if you do this over time, you will find that the improvement is absolutely mind shattering and so encouraging. I think we all understand what a squat is. And I want you to also remember that I talked about if you are doing squats, you can begin with a simple chair squat where you just go down and sit and get back up. All right. You can do an air squat where you're just going down and back up, or you can use actual things. Example, I'll be right there. When you think about it, you can use your gallons of water. Each gallon is 8.5 pounds. And by squeezing them together, you can do another squat, but have some type of extra weight on it. You can create all kinds of great things to use. You can also go to your bands. While you simply just step on the bands, you are able to put the resistance up and then do your squat. So again, there are so many ways. But in the beginning, 10, 30, that's what we're looking for. Could be 3 sets of 10, 1 set of 30, 2 sets of 15. Then you move to your push-ups. Now, if you're starting, you can do your push-ups on your knees. And remember, you may not be able to do 30 in a row, but you can do maybe 5, 6 times. Then you move to lunges. Now, for many of us that are starting, you may want to balance yourself with a hand on the chair. And remember, 1 foot up and back, going down, coming back up. And you want to do 30 of those each leg. Now, jumping jacks, then you have your opposite knee to elbow touch. That's basically when you're lying on your back and you're bringing up your legs and you are just doing the opposite knee to the opposite elbow. The jumping jacks, as I said, I think we all remember that, okay? Plank push-ups. Now, for those of you that are unfamiliar with that, you can Google plank push-ups. And what it is you get in a plank position on your elbows and you're simply lifting yourself up to a push-up position, doing the push-up, coming back up, going back to the plank position. Now, for those of you starting out or may not be able to do but 1 or 2 of those, hold that plank position for a good 60 seconds 3 times, okay? If you can't get to the plank push-ups. The squat thrusts, well, if you've ever been in sports, you've probably done a squat thrust, but if you haven't, take a look at a video on what a squat thrust is, and you can use some sort of stair step, or you can use a bench to help minimize basically getting all the way down to the ground and kicking back the legs. And then you have your bench dips where you're up against the chair, or it could be a bench press and you're just dipping yourself down. You want to get 30 of those. You've got your sit-ups, and it ends with burpees. Now, burpees are my least favorite of anything in this world as far as activity, but it is a complete body exercise. And it's basically going down to your knees, hands on the floor, kicking back your legs, bringing them back up, and standing back up. As you get better, you'll actually jump at the end. This 300 workout is something that you can do anywhere. You don't need equipment. You just need desire, commitment, and time. So this is what the recommended workout is going into the 4th week. The workout is called 300. Join me next Thursday where I'll have a special guest who will talk more about ways to tone up and make your day the best day and keep moving forward to total tone up and getting to exactly where you want to be. Have a great day.